Hey there. I want to talk to you today about what to do and what not to do when someone you love is stuck, whether that be stuck in harmful relationships or maybe stuck in harmful behavioral patterns, addictions. For one reason or the other, the person that you care about is stuck. And I have always had a heart to help people. I think that's just kind of something in how I'm wired. I love helping people, but I have not always done that well. I'm going to share a very embarrassing story with you, and I cringe thinking about it. But, okay, so, those of you who know me know that since 2003, I have been working and I founded an organization called Treasures, and we've been helping women coming out of the commercial sex industry in situations of exploitation and trafficking. And in the early years, I was, in my mid 20s and just a survivor myself, figuring things out, working on my own healing journey. And I really was not very well equipped. Beyond having a story that helped me identify and relate and resonate with some people and just a real desire to help, I was not that equipped. So to give you an example, I remember at some point telling someone, when someone tells me what their, challenge is, what the obstacle, what the thing they're facing, their problem is, I just give them the advice. I tell them what to do. I'm like, listen, do ABC 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, problem solve, bam. And I said, if they're not ready for life change, they're not going to call me back until they're ready. But when they're ready for life change, they'll call me back because I gave them the answer to the test. Woo! The grace of God. By the grace of God, I'm still here today. And if you are an OG treasure, and if I ever did that to you, I am so sorry. And I was onto something. If you tell people what they should do, they're not going to call you back, right? Unless they want someone to tell them what they should do with their life and are ready to let someone else take control of their life, and then they'll call you back, right? And that's an unhealthy codependent dynamic. And essentially, I was not short of advice. I was the champion unsolicited advice giver. And I made the incorrect assumption that if someone was telling me a problem, then obviously they were telling me because they wanted me to fix it, because I'm the fixer, right? Which is just codependency through and through. But I learned the hard way that most of the time when people are telling you what their challenges are, what they're facing, what they're struggling with, they're not looking for advice or looking for you to come in and be the superhero, put your cape on and fix their problem. They're looking for someone to process with, a safe place to share. They're looking for someone who can hold space for their pain and the complexity of their feelings. And so I was not doing that, and I am sad about that looking back. However, we all learn and we grow, and I have made a decision to not should on people, to stop shoulding all over people. Shoulding. I love saying that in church services because people think I'm cussing. So stop shitting all over people. So I made a decision to stop shitting all over people and stop telling them what they should do, that they should break up with that person, they should quit this, they should start this, they should go to this recovery program, they should read this book, they should read this scripture, right? And to just stop that. And the truth is, it's actually a very harmful word when we use it with the people that we care about, with the people who, obviously when we're giving advice and when we're wanting to help people fix their problems, a lot of times it's coming from a compassionate, very genuine, authentic place, like it was for me. I really had a genuine heart to help people, but I was going about it in a way that really disempowered them and put me in a one-up position. And so that's been huge, is to make a decision to stop shitting all over people. And the truth is, I wouldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for a very important relationship in my life. Those of you who know my story, you know the story of Tanya, the person who came along and loved me unconditionally and met me where I was at in my pain. She didn't try to fix or change me. And it was her friendship that really led me to developing a relationship with God. And when I finally, miraculously, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, started going to church, she didn't shit all over me. She didn't tell me, now that you're in church, you need to break up with the boyfriend, you need to stop cussing, get off the pole, and while you're at it, put some clothes on because we can see everything you're working with, right? She didn't do that to me. And because she didn't do that to me, she gave me space to go on my own journey of developing my faith, developing my relationship with God, and also my journey of recovery and healing from a lot of the trauma and exploitation and abuse that I had been through. And that was such a gift to me. And I'm sad for the times that I wasn't equipped to give that to other people. But I want to encourage you that if someone you love is stuck in, a harmful relationship or a harmful behavioral pattern, to resist the urge to should all over them. And instead, really, what our role can be and what we can do that actually is helpful to people is to help them to find and explore options, to ask them good questions, to help them discover, the tools that they have, the solutions that they have, and help them explore and find those. Because the reality is, research shows that people are more likely to stick by a plan of action that they come up with than one that we come up with for them. And I've seen so many times where this has certainly been the case. It's certainly been the thing that works because, if you think about it, like let's just say, for example, my friend Tanya, if she had told me, you should leave your boyfriend / pimp / exploiter, which a lot of people tried to tell me to do, what do you think I did with all those people? Anyone who challenged that relationship that I was so enmeshed in, that I was so stuck in, I pushed them away. So if she had done that, I would have pushed her away. Instead, she helped me see an example of a life that was different than mine, of a way of going about relationships that was different than the way that I was going about them. In fact, this is kind of a little bit of a bunny trail, but I remember one day she had driven all the way from the Valley to West LA. If you're not from LA, that's a whole thing, going over the hill. It's a whole thing. We don't like going one way over the hill or the other if you live in LA. It's a long drive. And so across the 405. So she had come all the way from the Valley to visit me in West LA. And when she got there, we were about to leave and the phone rang and I knew that it was my exploiter. And so I picked up the phone because I was afraid if I didn't pick up the phone, he's going to be mad at me later, right? And I get on the phone with him and he starts questioning me, what are you doing? Who are you with? And she can sense this, right? And I'll never forget, very lovingly, she just said, hey, Harmony, I'm gonna go. We can hang out another time. And she left and she drove all the way back to the Valley. And what I realized is that she had so much respect for herself that she wasn't even willing to be around the kind of toxicity that I was allowing myself to live in every day. And she did it in a very loving way, but she modeled for me a healthy boundary for herself. And in doing so, made me reevaluate the boundaries that I was having in my own life. Now imagine if she had just said, girl, you need to hang up the phone, right? Like that would have just made me want to push her away. And if, let's say I did, her pep talk encouraged me and I hung up the phone, right? Later on, I'd be like, Tanya told me to hang up the phone. I shouldn't have hung up the phone because now he's mad at me, right? And that decision that I could have made on my own would then become about her because she was shitting on me, right? So anyways, I, since this whole journey of Leading Treasures began, we have constantly received emails and phone calls and messages from parents, from loved ones, from people who are saying, I have someone that I care about, my daughter, my sister, my cousin, whoever, who is in the commercial sex industry or who is with a pimp, who's being trafficked. Someone I care about is stuck in this harmful situation, in this harmful relationship. What do I do? And, we've done the best we can to encourage them and give them some helpful tips, but I am so excited because we've finally created a resource to help you. If you have someone that you care about that is stuck in harmful relationships, we created a little booklet. It's a guide. It's a 70-page guide called Someone I Love, a guide to helping those stuck in harmful behaviors and relationships. And it is available now for pre-sale on the Treasure's website at iamatreasure.com. And I'm so excited to give this resource and this tool to you if someone you love is struggling and is stuck, so that we can just share what we've learned to help equip you to come alongside them and to support them in a way that is actually helpful, in a way that fosters relationship, in a way that empowers them to make healthy decisions in their life. And we talk about things like, what does the process of change actually look like, and how can you identify what stage your loved one might be in at any given point. And we also give you information on how to help your loved one when relationship is broken. So maybe something's happened and your relationship with the person you care about, the person you love, is severed. Maybe they're not taking your calls anymore. Maybe you did something and you inadvertently pushed them away. We also give you some tools for how to respond in those situations. So I'm so excited to make that resource available to you. It's called Someone I Love. It's available at iamatreasure.com for pre-order now, and officially available on August 17th. So I hope that's helpful for you. It's only $7.99. So I don't know why we didn't just make it $8. It's $7.99. So, alrighty, you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.